We just learned this morning that someone was unfortunately, sadly, was killed on the L train, and you just mentioned about the trauma some of the operators must go through when a subway car strikes an individual, a person. What have you heard from some of your members who unfortunately have been in that position?
There's more and more people killing themselves and jumping in front of trains, which traumatizes a lot of train operators and conductors. Some people it doesn't bother at all, and some people it traumatizes them deeply, and some people never go back to being train operators again or conductors. They just go and find another title within the transit authority because they just can't drive trains with the prospect of running someone over. Because a lot of passengers, not all the passengers who get hit by trains are people who, we always say that they're suicides, but they're not. A lot of them are people who are pushed, or people who fall, or drunken people who walk into the sides of trains or walk off the edge of platforms. So just recently we had 3 people were struck by trains at 72nd Street and Broadway, and none of them jumped. All of them fell or slipped. The platform is very precarious up there. It's a very thin platform. And the union is trying to encourage train operators to operate more cautiously, but there's a lot of stress on members because many passengers, they think it's funny, they stand at the edge of the platform, they turn their backs, there's huge crowds on the platform. It's easy to get jostled onto the track if you stand too close to the edge. It's not as safe as people think it is. And we have about 150 people get struck by trains a year, and maybe 95, 100 of them are fatalities. A lot of them are horribly mangled, and some of them absolutely nothing happens to. But it traumatizes our members. Our train operators and conductors may be required to go down on the track and look for the body or find out what happened to the person, and often the person is not dead, and then they have to prevent the person from touching the third rail and direct the police and fire department and EMT to where the person is. And getting hit by a train can be really graphic. Most people lose limbs and they bleed out real quickly, so you can be part of that process.
For those members who, as you said, if it's too traumatic for them and they decide that they can't operate a train anymore, then where can they go?
Our members go either become cleaners or station agents, people in the booth. If you go as a train operator, you won't get a raise as when you're working in a different title until your title equals to what you're working. So like station agents make less money than train operators. So eventually you're going to lose money. I had a friend of mine, a woman with her baby jumped in front of his train, and he just couldn't take it, and he became a transit property protection agent. I knew him for years. He's since retired, but he had a really tough time about it. He just wouldn't go back to work. And some people get fired because if you're out for a year with the trauma, the transit authority fires you. So you don't have any benefits anymore after that.